Let me say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever part of the world you are joining us. We want to say welcome to the Maris TV Education and Nation Building episode. Tonight, it is a great night to be back here on this great platform to share a very interesting topic that every one of us would love to hear tonight. Mostly, we as young people, it has to do with our participation in society or our community building. And tonight, we are here with a very interesting topic that talk about youth participation in community development. In order for our community to develop, we all need to participate in whatever ways that will help our community to develop. So tonight we are here to bring you this live discussion, this educative talk, and I hope that every one of us can follow, and I hope that we can all participate in this discussion tonight. So we are here with our own senior brother, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. Mr. Lee T. Gibson, let me say good evening and welcome again to the platform.
Yeah, good evening, Myers. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to the listening audience, wherever you are watching from. So it's great to be here again today to have a very wonderful show where we're going to be talking about youth empowerment, youth participation in community development. And it is an interesting topic that we all need to listen to because we have a lot of things to do as a young people in our community. We have to give back to our community, and we have to, purchase government efforts in developing our country and our community and country at large. So we have that responsibility as a young people. So there are a lot of things that we need to talk about so that we can know, what are some of the means and ways we can find, we can create to contribute to our community. So thank you, Maya. It's good to be here today.
Thank you so much, my dear senior brother. Let me say to us tonight, youth are not merely the leaders of tomorrow. They are important contributors to the society today. Across communities, young people have the energy, creativity, skills, and ideas needed to address social changes and challenges in our communities or our surrounding as well. We young people today, we have all those ideas. There are a lot of young people today who have attended so many skills training centers. There are many young people today who are so creative. They sit and just try to craft some things. So we are not just the leader for tomorrow, but we are also people that are being needed within the society today. So it is very important that we try to discuss tonight on uh, youth participation in community development. Before we start the ball rolling tonight, we would like to take our commercial break, and once we get back, we would like to start the journey with some interaction with our senior brother while we wait for our other colleagues to join. And we want to use this time to say our very big condolence to the bereaved family of one of our legendary uh, Miss Miracle of Minister Miracle Ketor, who has been laid to rest today. As you know, some songs have been made to us. So I want to say our deepest condolences for and on behalf of the Maris TV family. We've been following today and we've been seeing what has been going on. We hope that God can console the family, that even all Liberians who believe in her as well can take heart in the Lord. So having said that, let's take our commercial. Once we get back, we keep the ball rolling with the questions and interaction tonight.
Africa, Africa rising. Through the lens, we tell the truth, empowering women, inspiring you. Voices once silent, now are heard. Every story, every word. Bridging tomorrow with lessons of today, showing the world a brighter way. From every nation, the message grows. Africa stronger, the whole world knows. Let the drums of freedom play, a brighter Africa on the way. Through justice, knowledge, unity, we build tomorrow steeple. With courage and truth we lead the way. Africa rising day by day. ISTV. Let the nation see the power of truth and dignity. Together we stand, together we build. Africa's promise now fulfilled. ISTV. Rise, Africa. Rise. ISTV. Shine. Rise, Africa. Steve on my rest to be. Produced by my ass, the boss. The voice of tomorrow. Today. From the rising sun across the land, voices strong, together we stand. From the villages to the city lights, speaking the truth and shining the light. Young dreams rising in every heart, a brand new story about to start. Through every struggle we still believe, Africa's future we will achieve. Hear the voices calling loud and clear, a generation without fear. Hope and truth will lead the way, Africa rising day by day. My Ask TV, the voice of the people, lighting the future across every steeple. From Liberia to Africa wide, truth and vision will be our guide. My Ask TV, let the whole world see stories of hope and dignity. One united Africa today, rising stronger every day. Who tells Africa's story? Who gives the youth a voice? Who stands for truth and unity? Africa, Africa rising. Through the lands we tell the truth, empowering, grooming, inspiring you. Voices one side, bridging tomorrow with lessons of today, showing the world a brighter way. From every nation the message grows, Africa stronger, the whole world knows. Let the drums of freedom play, a brighter Africa on the way. Through justice, knowledge, unity, we build tomorrow for all to see. Rise, Africa, rise, rise, Africa, rise. Your time has come to shine. Rise, Africa, rise, rise, Africa, rise. Your time has come to shine. ISTV, the voice of the people, lighting the future across every steeple. With courage and truth we lead the way, Africa rising day by day. ISTV, let the nation see the power of truth and dignity. Together we stand, together we build, Africa's promise now fulfilled. ISTV. Rise, Africa. Rise. ISTV. Shine. Rise, Africa. Steve on my rest to be. Produced by my ass, the boss. The voice of tomorrow. Today. Africa rise! Africa.
So let me say thank you for joining us tonight. let me say thank you so much for joining us tonight on another great edition of the Marius TV show. Tonight is a wonderful time, and we are here to talk about things that we young people have to get engaged into. Remember that we young people, we are not just a promising leaders, but also we are also important in participating into this happening in our nations, our society. So it is also essential that we try to understand these things. Mr. Litty Gibson, there are many of us young people, we feel like we are just leaders for tomorrow and then not for today. And because of that, we always say to ourselves, we are preparing ourselves. It is very essential, though, to prepare yourself. It is very good to prepare yourself for tomorrow. But in order to take those responsibilities for tomorrow, there should be some tangible that you are doing today that people will see and say, yes. But many of us young people today, we don't take responsibilities, right? We don't know that we have so many things to give back to society. Because, like I stated earlier, right, our skills, our creativities, these are things that we can carry on in society. Many times I speak of the thing of, a lot of our colleagues will say, oh, this is thing peer pressure, peer pressure. Sometimes I'm like, peer pressure is not just in a negative forms every time. There should be also some positive things that you will do sometimes, right? There are many of our colleagues who are doing meaningful things in the society. Are we young people too, who are also in their age group? Are we also doing the same things? No. But every time we say we are preparing ourselves, we are future leaders for tomorrow. I think that is very, very excited to look good, to look better. We need to make a lot of contribution because even the Bible said to us, right, in the book of Ecclesiastes, right? Remember your creator in the days of your youth. Why do you think God says your creator in the days of your youth? I want to say this, that when we are young, there are more energy we have. We are very strong to do a lot of things. Yes, our brains, everything are very sharp to learn a lot of things, to do a lot of things. But every time we young people, we feel like we are so lazy. Everything we still want to be taking milk. It is time that sometimes we try to get a hard bones because we want to be that future leaders for tomorrow. But it has to start from now. You have to start practicing, right? They say practice begin at home and it ends abroad, right? So whatever things you're going to practice right now, when the future has been given to us tomorrow, we are definitely going to implement it. But it's so frustrating that a lot of us young people, we don't want to do anything in our society today. But let's start with this question, Brother Lee. What does really mean to you uh, whenever we talk about the thing of youth development, right? In nation building, right? You participation, sorry, in nation building. What does that means to you, Mr. Lee T. Gibson?
Yeah, okay, so Miles, thank you again. It's good to be here. So, you know, there are a lot of things that the young people have to offer, and there are a lot of great young people who have the capacity, to contribute to society, to our community. So, you know, we have, a responsibility to as a young people, to make our community better, to develop our community and everything. You were talking about scriptures, in my heart went to a scripture that also says, work while it is day, because when there cometh, no one work when there cometh. So it tells you that the time you have the opportunity, the time you have that energy, the time you have the screen, the mind, and everything, that's the right time to put them to use, so that tomorrow, the night might be referred to as the future, when you have gotten to the future where you will not have to struggle for some of these fundamental things, because you have already worked on them when you were young. So there are a lot of deeper meaning behind that scripture, but that is just what my mind went to. So in our community, youth participation is very important. Sometimes we as a young people, we don't have to wait for government to come in our very community and try to initiate some projects and other things. We can sit down, we can strategize, we can discover, we can find a problem, discover a problem in your community, try to identify the problem and look for a solution, and after looking for a solution, take action towards that solution, and you see what's going to happen. We can all help in developing our country when young people come together. For example, the community is there. What are young people doing? They are not working. They are not doing anything. So you come together and you try to clean your community. You can identify our problem as a young people too. It's not only about being like maybe serviceable to the community without benefit. For example, maybe in your community there is an issue of waste management. So you find out that many people, they live far away from the waste, the waste site. So you as a young person, you can strategize. You get two or three, wheelbarrow or other thing. You start to, take those garbages from people homes. You go and you transport them to the waste site. And every Saturday, if that even 100, each household will contribute. Maya tell you no lie, it is a great help to that community. There are other ways. Sometimes maybe in your community you find that water is an issue. Safe drinking water is an issue. What can you people do? Initiate projects. You can get a hand pumps that will help the community and other thing. But most of the time, we just sit, we complain without coming with with solution, and we have a lot to offer. If we don't strategize, if we are not smart enough, or if we cannot come up with with ideas that will move our community forward, who do we expect to come and do that for us? The government will not do everything. Though the government, responsible to develop every community, we know that. But at the end of the day, the government too is challenged. So we, as a young people, we have to come in. Another thing, not only waste, not only water, it will be education too as well. Look in the community, there are a lot of students, young people who are going to school. We don't have what they call maybe study class teachers and other thing. You, as a young person, you have graduated from high school. There is no job for you. You don't have money to to further your education. You can open your study class. You can initiate a project, and it will be a help to the community. People who have their children going to school, you will see them sending them to to your study class, service, and at the end of the day, when more ends, you will end something. Try to to do something. Don't sit and wait for government to do everything. The issue is, people, you see young people sitting all the time and say, oh, I pray to God so God can open my way. My brother, God has already opened your way. Just use your intellect. Just be strategic. Find, something that is, a problem in the community. Find a solution to it and make use of that problem. And you can develop yourself. You can also develop the community. So we have a lot of things to offer to our community. But because young people are not thinking, that's the reason why many of them they are unemployed. You can be a self-employed person once you initiate some other thing. Sometimes the last time I was watching something on the internet, I think 18 or 19-year-old little girl, she has her own business running, popcorn business. She popped the corn with some, products and other thing. She packaged it well, put it in a well-designed cup, and she sell it. She make money. So the last time I watched that video, one of Maya from Ghana was interviewing her, so I was impressed. So you see, as little, as small as she is, if she can have that mentality, that brain, that knowledge to say, yes, I can do this, I can establish this, and I'll make money. And she's growing. So what we are saying to our people, we shouldn't wait for government to come, to do everything for us. Sometimes don't sit and blame your parents. Your parents, they have already lived their life. What are they made mistakes and what have you? You cannot dwell on those mistakes and you say you follow within that same mistakes. Try to change the narrative and try to change some things in your community. So don't say you don't have anything to offer. You have something. Just look at your community, try to identify a problem and engage into those problems. So Miles, yeah, that's it for now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leety Gibson. You just said it right, right. We young people, we have to be so creative when it comes to doing things in our community because we are people that our community depends on. You know, tomorrow when the people shall have lived, who are they living in a community with? That's a question. So before I go further to say something, let me welcome my own dear brother who been on a break for a very long time.
I have to
And
come.
I
I
know
can't
you
hear
have,
you, Myers.
yeah,
After
yeah,
I
come
say you
back.
can, I
After
can hear
are
the
you,
mail. I know you can hear me.
after are you getting
You can
us?
hear me?
Yes, 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 I'm hearing you.
You get okay, but brother
Okay, I
Lee,
hear you. After Myers, can you hear me?
no, 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 I'm not hearing you, brother Lee. You have to go and come back.
Okay, let
But
me come
after you
back.
getting me,
Yes, I'm hearing you, Mars.
okay. So welcome, Alfred. Tonight we are so
Mars, I'm
excited.
hearing you again.
Are you not hearing me?
I'm not getting you.
Please go and come back, Alfred. Go and come back. Go and join. Please rejoin. So let me say welcome. Like Mr. Lee gives him, you know, we're emphasizing just now. It is so essential though that we young people that there are a lot of things we need to put our hands down to work. You understanding that we need to put our hands down because it is not just about you being in a community, but what are those meaningful participation you are making within the community? What are those impartation that tomorrow when you shall have leave the community, people can say, yes, brother Ezra Z was here. You know, our son were here. What are those things that you are doing? Like there are a lot of educational organization we can open in the community. But I come to the point of understanding that yes, you see the thing of football and the thing of football and kickball is very nice. Yeah, football and kickball is very nice. Yeah, they are very nice, right? After are you getting me now? Yeah, football and kickball are very nice thing that that talks about that bring unity. But after it is not the only way that you think we can impact in our community, right? Yeah, sport is very good. We love it. Every one of us are sports people, right? We are sport lovers. But after there are other meaningful things like creating some organization, that will help strengthen the academic thing of the community. Like you see some community, you go there, you see some community has a question team. After some community has a question team. Some community has a question team that people, get to the community every time they gather and then they practice. I used to see that before from the guys when I was in Liberia at the Zimbabwean, the guys from the Trinidad community. I think the Trinidad and they had their question team. And every time you see these challenges and other things, it was so unique. These are things that they were doing in the communities. You understand it? So it is not just you being in a community, you just want to be there because of sake. You are not making no impact. But the only thing that most of our young people do, Mr. Leety Gibson, if I get to Africa, is to criticize people. Everybody, we want to criticize people, but we don't want to do anything. Like Mr. Lee, you were saying, I talked to a few of my colleagues the other time. They called me, they would put a phone video call. It was like, Miles, we are trying to clean the community, but imagine we are not getting no support. It's not like fun house, right? But other people joining us. When you go and talk to other people regarding them joining us, oh, your leader or your community thing, right? People just stay away from the community. We were talking about our nation at large, but let's start with our own local community where we stay. What are those efforts or those things that we are doing within our community that is bringing changes there? Where every time you say, oh, the community like that, the community, listen, nobody can make your community decent unless you yourself take that bold steps. Nobody can do those things that you think in your mind that is right for the community unless you take that bold steps. And once you cannot take that bold steps, automatically those things will not work. It won't work no matter how. Because you say you have the idea now, but you setting there, the only thing you do, this one is not happening, that is not happening. It's not how it works. We have to come together and see how best. So after before we go to our next question, what say you? I want to use Philip Word tonight when we talk about youth participation in community development. What say you? What comes to your mind as a young man who have lived in Simple Bridge, being there for so long, and there are a lot of things you have seen around, plenty of things you have, yeah. What say you when it comes to these things? You are level young people, you are seeing them, you are interacting with them, some things and other things. So say to us tonight.
Okay, thank you so much. Am I clear? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you so much. Like you said, I've been away for some time. Yeah, exam came into a other thing, leadership, blah 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 blah, all these things. Yeah, but how be it? We were still with the Myers family behind the scene, doing one or two things. So, regarding to our topic for tonight, youth participation in community development. You know, the youth play a very huge role and they have very huge stakes within our community. The last time I remember, I did post on my status and I was saying that uh, uh, that our leaders should give with the youth the chance and then and stop promising us the chance. They should give us and see if they should give us the lead and see, but not to promise us and in they don't give us since we are the future leaders. You see, within our community today, most of the time you see that things are not actually happening within our community. Things are not actually moving within our community. It is because that the youth have not been given the chance to do what they should do. Sometimes they will feel that okay, maybe few people within the community is not serious, or maybe they are into drugs or drinking alcohol. So they will classify that everyone within the community are the same. Okay, now let me take for example for where we stay. Okay, now from our end in Simple Bridge, we have some guys that is good, and we have some guys that are biased. So if you look at the ratio, you always see those bad guys. They are always on the street. So you will feel okay, this community is dangerous. There are times within Simple Bridge, people always claims that the young guys from Zimbabwe or youth from Zimbabwe that are dangerous. Sometimes they even say Zimbabwe are rare zone because maybe jacking the phone was and everything. So based on that, there are a lot of development that are already stopped. Youth are not being given the chance because they classify that all you are the same. But if you look within the community, there are a lot of potential youth that's aiming to have a better future, that's aiming to have a higher studies that want to actually bring development within the community. I remember, I cannot actually remember the year, but I showed maybe my senior league is, I don't remember the year. There was a time we added organize an organization within Simple Bridge, and we named that organization United Youth for Progressive Change. Yeah, and then that organization was actually good. And then I think all these years since Zimbabwe of Wonder, I don't know, maybe at the time I wasn't there or I wasn't born at that time, maybe something happened. But from the time my eyes were open in Simple Bridge, I think that we were the first youth or Simple Bridge based under that organization, holding there in the organization to carry on sanitation with East Simple Bridge, Zumatan Road, that we swept from down Zumatan all the way to upper Zumatan to Driver Market. And then we also make sure to clean some drainage and we also some places water sit. We also make sure we cleanse and make sure the water the flows and then we purchase on cross rack. And I remember while we were doing that, even the quarry representative Desi Sibo also came that day and luckily he saw us and then he was so excited and then he gave us some cash. Yeah. So you see, these are things that youth are capable of doing. These are and youth can do more than that, but they are not given a chance. Probably maybe if they gave our bigger ones the opportunity that they should give to us, sometimes you have to pay for it. Sometimes you have to let's say you have to maybe you have to be that relative, or sometimes they have to squander the opportunity, and then there is no opportunity given. Because if you look at even in the country at large, the youth play a major role within development, a very huge role within development. But albeit as the discussion go on, I will come again and say more. Thank you.
Thank you, Afra. And I also want to differ with you on. You always say that the youth don't want to, they don't want to give the youth the opportunity. I want to differ with that. Seriously, Afra. Listen, it is not about you selling into position, right? You can work. You just keep on working. Keep on doing what you think you can do within the community. You understanding it, right? Just keep on doing what those creativities that you are doing. Listen, like we said all the time, there are people who stands distant and are watching us. But you know, basically, the frustrating thing is to know that many of us young people, every little work we do, we want a reward right after it. That's the thing that suffer us, and you won't be given a chance. You won't be given that chance because it's not every community that is well financially stable, that everything the young people do, they must try to pay them. So after I want to default with you that they don't want to be given the chance. Because I don't think they are even doing it with passion. Everything you want to do within your community, listen, after that's your community. You understand it? The way you patronize it that you feel like it should be, do it. You don't need an automatic, rewards and what have you. Continue doing what you can do for the community, Alfred. Like you were saying, there are a lot of things we can do. You talked about you people how to do some cleanup campaigns and other things. Forget about what are the representatives who have given you money or not. Just keep on doing it because you feel like the community should be a decent area, should be a place that that when people comes and they feel very fun. After you talked about the things of this criminal things that many people feel like St. Paul Bridge is like a no-go zone, right? After the youth should have strategized things to make sure that this narrative can change. There are things. If you ask Mr. Lee Gibson, who lived I think 70 times at the United Gateway community, he will tell you what for some of us we did at the United Gateway community. When that was too much for us, we found ourselves and had a Fish United group. Imagine how small we were in the body and other things. We have to take risks in the night to make sure that the criminals, can try to leave our community. And at a certain point of time, our community was very safe for people. So I felt like we were not doing this because we wanted reward right away, right? Because we were doing this because we feel like that's our community, right? And it needs to carry a good image and other things, We're not doing it for anything. Also, today they use a get off of right and other thing, and then they are not giving us a we'll try to stay back. No, we did it because we felt like it was our community and we needed to make sure our community could be safe. So after I want to default with you, I know you will try to come back for me, but we will take another question. So let's go to you, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. There's a follow-up question on this, right? Does participation simply means attending community meetings and events? When we talk about the youth participation, some youth can say, "Well, I'm always in a community meeting. I'm always here." Is that only a that our young people should do in the community, or there are other things beyond that? Because there are some youth that can be regular, Mr. Litty Gibson. You know what I'm talking about? Some youth can be so regular. Afra, no, I think Afra has said about youth chairman or community chairman somewhere. He knows that. Let's hear you, Mr. Lee.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
All right.
Yeah, so I think participating in meeting is just one aspect, but our focus should be on the contribution. What are you doing, for the community? What are your contributions to the community? Because mind you, there are some people who can go and sit in a meeting, they can't even contribute. They only sit after the meeting, they walk away. Even after plan of action, nothing, they don't participate in the action and everything. They just go and sit in the meeting to just add a number or by the end of the day, when it comes to the implementation, they are nowhere to be found. So what I can say, it is important to attend community meeting, to be informed, to make contribution to the solution. By the end of the day, you have to play your part. You have to put yourself into the plan of actions and the implementation because you don't just find solutions and at the end of the day you don't want to be part of the implementation. So I think it's wrong if we have such system in our community, then we are not moving forward. So what you can do as an individual in the community, sometimes not necessarily have to be like you have to attend community meeting too. Like I was saying, you can be a patriot, you can identify a problem in the community, and you can also help. For example, there you have you know, new people entering the community, and sometimes they want to find place, and they're searching for empty apartment, other things. You can be a part. You can whether you can make yourself an agent or what. You find better apartment for this person, and the person move in the community. Maybe sometimes they might compensate you, and that's a help too for the community, making it very easy and feasible for people to find place in our community. And I think that's another contribution that you as an individual you can also contribute to this. To the community. So there are a lot of things that we have to discuss when we talk about participation because everyone has to be involved. Every young person has to be involved. Like I said before, earlier on, you have to be creative. You have to be innovative. Just try to identify a problem within our community. For example, maybe in your community, you notice that everybody, walk from far distance to go to another distance just to do a photocopy, right? Just to do a photocopy. You have to be innovative. If you have something, you can start with one printer or that thing, to solve that problem so that those community dwellers they can have access to photocopy machine. That would be another empowerment. Once you start that process, you're going to see yourself growing financially. So, like I was saying, sometimes we don't have to sit and wait for complain that oh there is no job in the country. I don't like for young people to complain too much when it comes to unemployment. I know it is important, but we have a country that is very clamor for business. It is, it is a virgin country for business. That is the reason why you are seeing many young people want to leave the country, but we have foreigners who are waiting to go to our country. You have the Fulanese, the Lebanese, the Indians, everybody want to go to the country because they know that it is climate for business. When you do business, you will prosper. So you don't have to complain much. Much. Just try to, engage yourself in activity. Be innovative. You try to do something. Look at the Nigerians. Sometimes when you see some of them on the internet, they tell you what they are engaged into. That's something that they have been, innovative and they involve themselves into it. At the end of the day, it is providing for them. So we can do the same thing. We shouldn't just sit and doing that, you are also contributing to the community because you are self-employed. Maybe that one person you'll be able to, bring near you and the person helping at the end of the month, that person any small thing is also a contribution. So Maya. So like I said, there's a huge thing, we have so many things to discuss, but because of time's sake, we'll just discuss the one that we have time to discuss. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. We young people need to move on the stage of being spectator, right, to the place of, being a participant in the community because it is very essential. And we just say it's not just about attending a youth meeting and you say that to just be a spectator, like Mr. Lee said, and you don't want to partake anything, right? It is very, very essential that when we go there, let's try to make some meaningful impact in the society. And brother Lee, if some of us who are watching today, we are living in some of these community, it is very essential to do these things. It's just a common thing, brother Lee. Like many times people can be complaining, this one day, I'm like, my brother, it's just a simple idea you just need, right? The community that you look at how the community looks like. You understand it? There are some people, even their yard, they are so busy, Mr. Lee T. Gibson, to clean their yard. If you can gather one or two guys in the community, general guy, every Saturday we'll see our best to go to Mr. Peter. We don't have to tell Mr. Peter, say we are coming to your house to work there. You understand it? While he's asleep, we go and try to do some things that you will see what's gonna happen. But we young people, we just say, like I said, normally we are lazy people and we have to wake up. We have to stop being too lazy, we have to wake up. Alfred, let me get to you with this question, right? Why is youth participation important for the development of the community? Why do you think it's so important for the development of the community? Alfred, you are living in Simple Bridge. Why you think Alfred T. Moore, is so much important for Simple Bridge development? Like once you say, when you attend the meetings or when you speak and other things, why you think, my brother?
Okay, thank you so much. You actually debunked a certain statement from me, my first speech. So I would like to actually clarify certain things before I answer the questions. At the end of the statement, you said that I'm going to come back, and definitely I'm back. So when I first stated by saying that the youth are not being given a chance, I will repeat again. I didn't make an error because I know what I was saying. Now, and thank God the question for which you asked is also corresponding with my previous answer. Yeah, but first, before I actually answer your question again, let me just clear these things. If you look within the community of let's say from Liberia, right? Now let's be real to ourselves. You will actually stay in Banjo, you stay in other communities. Let's be real. Like the way we are outside today. You see, there are a lot of youth activities. There are a lot of youth engagement programs that you are engaged to that keep themselves busy. Brother, let's be real to you and ourselves when we were back home. When we were back home, have we ever seen those things? Because those that are actually ahead of us, they actually feel that they are not serious. Whenever we do this thing, it will just be for waste. They will not attain or they will not learn anything. That's the mindset they have. So if I say that we are not being given a chance for we the potential ones, we are not being given a chance. It's not an error. It's not error. I do believe that as a youth, you should take the steps. You should take the bold steps. You should make sure that okay, I don't care how the space may be small, but I will create that. I will create that space for myself, and also to make sure that I will make sure to be impact within my community. Yes, you can do that. Like my senior brother here, when we were back in Super Bridge, we somewhere somebody were impact within our community because we do assignments for our students, print and tape for them for other schools around, and these are people know us. Now we are outside today, in another country. We also serve in a library community, doing making sure that we help students help those who is not able to actually do certain things for ourselves. We help them. Yeah, and most of it, we being here today, you see that okay, there are a lot of opportunity, there are a lot of programs that are being given, there are a lot of there are a lot of space, there are a lot of space that are being given to you to actually show themselves, to actually prove themselves what they can do. But back when brother, the platform have not been given. If you see this person is kind of being potential, the platform has not been given. I'm not saying it's not happening in Liberia. Obviously, it's happening in Liberia. I'm not saying so. But you will mostly find this. You will mostly find this maybe in few community or maybe within the city side. That's the place you mostly find these things. So when I made that statement, I was not wrong. But how be it? Let me go back to your to your questions. So okay, my brother, you said that birthday youth are so important within our community development. And when I was first speaking, I actually emphasized on that. I said I said that youth are very much important when it comes to community development because we always heard that statement from people. They say that we are the future leaders. It is not an error. That statement is not an error. Why? Because you are innovative. You have many talents. Like you, you will actually see that. Okay, let me just give an example, right? Let me just give a clear illustration. Maybe it will actually answer your question very well, right? Okay, now for those that will actually bet within the 60, the 70, the 80, you will see that a lot of things that they are lacking. Okay, those that actually bet within the 90, there are also a lot of things that are actually lacking. And those that are actually born from 2000, maybe 2005 all the way to 2010, we can say of war, we can say that there are a lot of things that they know that those that are actually born within the 90 all the way down to the 70, the 60, they don't know. For instance, right now, if you're trying to do certain work within your community that you actually need you actually need let's say a computer, not that I cannot say a computer analyst, but I can just say maybe someone who knows about technology. You will go bring someone about who was born in the 60, the 80, the 90, the 60, the 70, 80, something. You need a youth who are innovative, those youth that actually knows the work, that actually knows about technology to actually do this work. Now, but if we're in a community, maybe for instance, setting soft campus up, maybe they just give it to the community chairman say, oh, okay, just call it the youth chairman. Say, oh, that's the only thing we get. Find somebody. So that person now looking for that interest. They don't want to look within the community someone that have that gift, someone who is potential to do these things and give them the platform, give them the space. Okay, let me give this person a try. Let me give the person a spotlight to actually do it. You talk about questions when I just joined the platform. There are a lot of questions. I remember always time within Super Bridge, they always do that community question stuff. There are a lot of questions within Super Bridge. But where have you ever seen people do going to quest? They always quit maybe in community, that's all. Because the youth channel have not been giving that, have not been giving them that opportunity. That's where, okay, we have a lot of questions. Okay, we have to give them scholarship. They have to go out. They have to compete. They have to compete with other actual communities, a part of not part of Super Bridge. These things. You talk about career development, youth development. Programs that will actually show the youth talent, that actually give them the platform to actually show what they're capable of doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alfred. I knew you was going to come for me. Thank you, but at least, yeah, at least we were able to go little by little. You understand that it is very essential that we young people we have a lot of potential. We are needed in our society every day and night. We need to participate meaningfully in our society, and it's very essential for us because we are the backbone of the society of the communities or society we are living in today. If we start to get old before our time, how do you expect us to work when our time reaches? Imagine you are just 25 years old, you are already holding your back. So when you get to 50, 60, what people expect from you? That's another serious problem. So you in a community, you should be a meaningful, person in our community. You should be a meaningful person in our community because you are still young. You have all the energy. You have all the energy, right? So you should try to do things that will shift, the community. But brother Lee, here's another question I wanted to ask you. Can a single youth in a community be the change of that community, living with a lot of people who thinking negatively, right? But you as a single person, can you be a change within our community? It is possible for a single man, to be a change in our community. So that's a question I was asking Brother Lee. I think there's a little problem with the network tonight, but we're gonna fix it. Yeah. But the question I asked after regarding our participation in a community as young people, it is very essential. It is very essential that we young people participate in a community development because our community depends on us. Our community depends on us because if we cannot do those things, that will help our community to grow, it will become problem for us. Let's just stop being a spectators, but rather we should be a participant in the community. Do those things that will help our community to grow and develop because our communities, that we live in today, there are a lot of things happening around us in our community. But how can we make these things, negative things happen in our community? That we see some communities that the criminality is too much. We young people, we can strategize to see how best we can reduce the level of criminalities in our communities. We see some of our communities that the hygiene system, right, is very bad in our community. We have to sit together. What can we do, to make sure that our hygiene in our community can be well taken care of? There are strategies that we need to put together because once we do these things, our community now will be a place that many people will love to, come to. Many people would love to move to our communities. But if we cannot do these things and we continue to say, I think and the community is like this, we complain every time we complain. No, we need to stop, complaining a lot of times, but rather we have to be a participant of those things that happens in our community. So, Brother Lee, did you get my question there?
No, I wasn't hearing you. So can you please repeat yourself?
Okay, so the question is, Mr. Lee T. Gibson is the only serious-minded young guy who live within his community with a lot of negative-minded people there. It is possible, right, with that kind of environment, for Mr. Lee T. Gibson to make a changes within in our particular community. Is it possible? And if you say yes, how? Can you tell us tonight? That maybe some people feel like my one in the community, I can't do it. And yeah, I can do it my own. I need people, but still people are not willing to collaborate. Can you say something to that tonight, Mr. Lee?
Yeah, Myers, it depends on the determination of the person. It is possible. So if you are talking about me, it is possible in my case because you have to be passionate about what you do and also your integrity and everything, what you stand for. You have to be intentional about it. So even if you are surrounded by negative people, there are ways that you do things and try to bring them, change their mind. Sometimes some of the thing happens out of ignorance. So you try to educate some people. If you cannot, you know, change every one of them, you can try your best to bring one or two closer and try to, work on that person, change their mindset, talk to them about things, let them have different, let them get a view of, let them get different view of things of how they view life to be. So if you start that one or two person, you see they start to change and everything. At the end of the day, it's going to affect the other people positively. It's going to have impact because you have tried to work on one or two. So you don't necessarily have to email everybody if it is not possible for you, but just try to talk to one or two that you can make a move and try to change them. Sometimes the way they look at things, their narrative and everything, you try to work on it, you try to talk to them. If take them to conferences, you've seen me now, other thing, you will see that person's mind will start to be filled with with knowledge, with so many information that going to help them to make a sound decision. Some of the people, they just out of ignorance, not that they really in nature that they are very negative, try to, or just be negative about everything. But because they don't have much information, they don't have enough information because what you fill your brain with, the information you fill your brain with, about direct your life. So some of them they don't have that leverage to to information. So you as a person who has that character, who has that you know that encouragement to do better thing in your society, in your community, you can work on that. If possible, you can do it. Sometimes you organize program like I was saying, you seminar, you invite them, call all of meaningful people, inspirational people. They come and speak to the young people. They identify, the problem in our community. They try to talk about it. And yeah, come out with a solution. Once you start to engage into those things, people start to see your effort. Those that were very negative, at the end of the day, you are going to see them being positive. They are going to respond positively, and they are going to get some information. So, yes, from my end, it is possible, but you have to be intentional about what you are doing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lee. And I'm consistent because a lot of times we young people we feel what they call consistency is right. We try one or two times and when it doesn't work, we feel so relaxed. I think this community and a lot of people have lived here and this thing they're not aware that am I the one going to be the one going to bring the change. You can be the change maker of that community if only you remain committed and consistent to what you are doing. Like you said, talking to people. There are some people don't need a group, talk, right? They need that one-on-one talk and other things, right? Sometimes you might talk in a group. Yeah, some people won't listen, but sometimes when you meet them one-on-one, you try to get the deeper side of them and you try to talk to them and sometimes you see things start to work out. So automatically when Mr. Lee have said it and I want to say this, once you are a single person within a community and you feel that you have those potential, you are creative, right? About the development of that community. Yes, it can work, but if only you being consistent, that's the thing about it. Consistency matter a lot. Mr. Lee, we're going to talk about from complaining to action. Mr. Lee, the thing of a lot of us young people today, we complain about everything in our community, in our country. Mr. Lee, we complain too much until I don't know how people have classified us to be today. We don't want to be part of the solutions, but we want to always be there to complain. You know, even when good things is about to happen in a community, we complain about it. Even when we see the rightful thing, see what is happening today in our country. Let's come, right? Parents have been crying. My children they are getting involved into drugs. Their life is like this, is like this, is like this. Now our government has decided to fight drugs, but the same parents are complaining that they are taking people who not this, who not that, who not that. But you still complain that all the people were bringing drugs in the country. Now they are about to find people who are being involved in this act to carry on investigation. You still complaining. Mr. Lee, here is the question that I want us to talk about today. Many young people complain about the problem in the communities. How can they move from complaining about the problems to becoming part of the solutions?
Yes, Maya, from the day of creation, there has always been complaining because human in nature, we complain a lot. Even Adam complained, why God have to give him a beautiful woman called Eve? Because when time came inside
After
of
you
the ship,
appreciate that, after you appreciate that God first, so now you will still complaining later.
yeah, so sure. So even the children of Israel, when they crossed the Red Sea, they started to complain. Imagine people who were in bondage, who were in slavery for over 40 years, and they were set free, they were let, loose, and they still complain. They say, well, you better we go back to, to where we were, because where you have brought out Moses, we can't understand ourselves. So human as a whole, right? We always complain, but here's my issue, right? We complain until we complain about unnecessary things. For example, it was surprising to know that somebody will attend somebody's wedding ceremony and then they started complaining about the food taste. Where
I have to say the
did
poor
you
money
honor,
there.
yeah, did you honor the did you honor the invitation for the ceremony, or you honor the invitation for the food, for the taste of the food? So we just complain until we complain
I think
about
for the
unnecessary
food,
things. Yeah,
they honor
so
the invitation for the food.
yes. So the few months I spent in Liberia when I went back, uh, I attended our wedding, right? So in our church, so I was very serviceable to the wedding. So I was even helping the caterers to serve and other things. So some people started complaining about, the food and other things. So me, I, so that the same thing I said, that's the point. I say, are you here for this food taste or here for the ceremony? Because if you are here for the ceremony, you should be happy that the ceremony went on well. The food thing are just to refresh ourselves, and celebrate with the new couples. It's not about this is not a home food that you say, okay, the taste of the food is what I'm going to be eating for the entire, for my entire life. No, this is just something in a human made those food. They could make mistake, and somebody could add more salt and other things. And so just consider it instead of complaining. So Myers, we can complain a lot until we forget to discuss about the solution. If you stop complaining, you'll be a better person. When something happens, don't just complain. Try to analyze it, know where the problem coming from, and find solution. Don't just sit we are contributing in it, but you just want to complain. That's how many of us we just complain without coming forward with solution. I just listened to a clip, the Botswana president. The man called his cabinet ministers. He was having a meeting with them. You know what he told them? He said, I don't want anybody to come to me with complaint. Oh, you come with plenty of problem. Oh, this is a problem with the country. No. He said, if you come here, come with solution. Don't come complain here. Don't come bring plenty complaint. I don't want to hear that. Come with solution. So let us try to look for solution to things. Now, look at some of the things happening in our community, in our country. What are some of the solutions that we can find, and forge ahead and prosper? Come up with a solution. Don't always complain, oh, the government not doing this, the government not doing that. If you vote the other government, you vote this government out, the other government comes. The same thing you are complaining about, you will still complain about it because they will exist. So what can you do to change some of these things that we are talking about? Come up with solution. That's why in a community, identify problem, come up with solution. You are young people gather in the community, they see the role, the rainy season in the rain. What else said is split the road. They are just sitting complaining. The government not doing nothing. Look at the road poor people will not come. How long will it take some of you guys will take shovel, take hoe and nothing then find means to flush that that dirty water out and fill that pop hole with some dirt and other things? Solution is there, right? That solution right there. You don't have to start from big. You have to start from the little that you can afford, your screen and everything, and stop complaining. Come up with solution. What can we do? What can you do to better your country? Not what your country can do for you to better you. Some of the big countries we are looking at today, it took able men and women to contribute positively to that country that they are enjoying today. So we can do the same. Let us come up with a solution. Let us find means, another thing. The last time I asked him, I how can we as a nation minimize, or the issue of corruption in schools, high schools, and other things. So, I, I was able to identify so many, solution, Myers, that I can talk about. If we talk to minister of education or or government officials, stakeholders, policy makers, we can explain some of these things to them. And if they implement those things in very high schools, our country going to move forward. The education system going to move forward. So think about solution. Whenever you see problem in your community, think about the solution. Don't think about complaining. Think about solution. What can we do to solve this problem? Look at the issue here where the community does not have ammonia. Sometimes you find pregnant women, they fall in pain at midnight. There is no car to transport into hospital or anything. So sometimes you start to ask yourself, what can we do? Can this community right around to get one ambulance just for the community that tomorrow, in the future, in the night when there is emergency, not only pregnant women, but when there is an emergency where somebody falls sick, this community ambulance will transport a person from here to the hospital. Can you think about that? But the only thing they will say, the health system in the country is bad. They almost sometimes before you arrive, before that person find car to go to the hospital, the person already died. And the doctor will inform me, so the person died long since. These are problems that you should find solution to. You have to be, innovative. You have to think outside the box, not just be very myopic in your thinking, just complete. So Myers, we have big problem. Young people, we have to think about the solution. Whenever, even in your own life, not only the community, but in your own life, in your family, find a solution to your family. Why is it that the other person, why is it that family always forcing or they want, find a solution? What's happening? What's going on? Is something really wrong? Find the solution. When you start to seek the solution, you find it. But when you start to complain about the problem, you'll always be, complaining about the problem. So Myers, that's it. And that's a very beautiful question. And thank you for the question. That's my take on that.
Thank you, Mr. Leety Gibson. It is essential that we start to be part of the solutions and stop complaining a lot. It's not just from the community angle, from our nation at large. We I think I said it here on Wednesday, right? Why when people have been given position to work, they don't do the work, but the day they have been caught in a certain act and been taken off, that's the time they say they want to speak the truth. That's the time they say they want to speak about things that have been happening. My question is, you were given the privilege. What did you do with all the ideas you have with that privilege that was given to you? That has been the serious problem in our community. And many times we that complain when we are then given a chance, we don't do nothing. Nothing we will do. But every time it's like we are just being classified as the complainer. Every time I own a job in the community is just to be part of the complainer. We can be that person that will make that impact, that will be able to solve problems. And the thing is, this thing has become like an obstacle for us. It has become like a barriers that's stopping us from a lot of opportunities. Because every time your own mindset is just to create things negatively. I'm not against the thing of criticizing people. It is essential sometimes. But sometimes the things that you are talking that the person is not doing well. What are you doing to help to make it to be well? What are those impacts you are making? Mr. Lee, I tell a lot of our colleagues who are outside the country, I said to them many times that while we are abroad, say we are studying, If we cannot change our narrative, we're gonna go back with the same kind of system and then get into it and do the same thing. We stay abroad, we criticize people there, and we don't want to change our mindset. We don't want to develop new things. That when we go back, we'll try to implement it. And that's why I came with that question. We're in group one, live here now. We are not 7, 8, 9, 10 are going to work to a particular entity. I'm going to be the only person working to that entity. How possible is that for me to make that meaningful impact? You can. Like you said, definitely, if you decide to stand for what you stand for, you can make that changes in a particular entity, and our people will see and say, yes, this person is doing what they have learned. But a lot of us we like the thing of ethics. The thing of ethics we lack it, Brother Lee, and that's why today we want to say we must stop the complaints and be the solution to every problems in our communities, in our homes. Some of us, Mr. Lee, we want to be called big brother, want to be called this, want to be called that, Mr. Lee. But are you taking that responsibility every time? It's just you want to be complaining more. When your little brothers or little sister do something, you complain. Yeah, I get a relative like that every time, just complain, complain, complain. There is no solution. Imagine there is no solution, and you just complain every time. Your only thing you bring is complain. We have to change, brother Lee. That's why I always say it, and I'm saying it again. You can build a beautiful country. When the mindset of the people are not beautiful, they will destroy that beautiful country. So while you are building a country to look like, yes, Europe and other places, try to build the mindset of the people to also look like Europeans. That's why these people will always look down on us, because the way we think. Imagine when they're telling us that we get our IQ is like 2% or 3% IQ, because they feel like, every time we don't want to be the problem. When we come out there, we criticize our government. Just Sunday, I was coming from church with one of my church sister, and we're having some conversation like why it is that I'm not seeing a lot of Liberians coming, and the kind of people are seeing them, right? They said they came abroad to study. They go back, they still do the same thing within the community. Do you expect somebody to go to that person and tell them, say, I want to go where you came from? Nobody's going to do that. The only way those people will try to create that mindset to say, I want to go to where you came from, unless they see that difference. They try to see that distinction that you try to make, right? The way you present things, the way you handle issues in our community, when they try to see it. But rather you return, you are still complaining, and people are going to say, I'll go where you want, where you went at. People will never do that. They won't do that, because you are not making no change. You are not making no change, no impact. In fact, people will feel like even the education you have gotten is a waste. And that's why today, Mr. Lee, a lot of people refer to some of us that the education we are getting is a waste. It is not that you don't have that qualification, but the forms and manner in which you present yourself out there, it shows that that particular field of studies that you are from, you don't represent it. You don't have no ethic. You don't do anything professionally. You just do things randomly, and people don't take you serious in society. So I hope that we will stop complaining, but rather be a solution within our community, because we are the one our community is depending on for that change. We young people. And like I said earlier, it is not just about the future, but it's about now. Because they say if the Christmas will be cool, Mr. Lee, you will know from the eve. This is the eve now. If the leadership 5, 6, 7 years to come will be good, you will know from now the kind of generation that you are having that are going to handle that future. So I want to say we go to our next thing that has to do with leadership and youth and community leadership. Mr. Lee T. Gibson, yes, I said I want to ask you this question. Um, young person have in a community before having a leadership position, what quality do you think a person needs to have? Because Mr. Lee T. Gibson, anybody can just get up today and say they want to be a community leader. They want to be. In your own mind, as a young man who have lived with a lot of young people who have lived outside of Liberia, and you have seen the kind of impartation young people made in their communities. In your own right mind, what do you think should be the qualities that people need to have before having a leadership position?
Yeah, okay. So, Maya, that's a very good question. In our community, in our country, we sometimes elect people or give people position based on, proximity, uh, closeness. Why I know this person, and on so many reasons, or maybe because of physical look, uh, financially stable, and everything like that. But we forget to evaluate those characteristics that are required for this public position that this person is seeking. So the last time we had issues that we were discussing, about our community, I think I said it on this show before, one of the community chairmen who was voted, who was elected as chairman to serve as one of the sub communities, in St. Paul Bridge. So this fellow was caught. He was caught in a criminal activities, criminal act, where he went and scammed a lady and took her money from her. So it didn't stop there. He also went, and cajoled another fellow in the community, and he stole from this fellow. He didn't stop there again. He went again and stole from another person who even was his campaign chairman, according to information during the electoral process. So at the end of the day, people now, it has raised public, concern. Like, why is it that the community chairman that we expect to be an example to others, he has been, caught in a bad or behavior that bringing embarrassment to the community. So, you know, so I went there. I told them. I made a comment. I said some of the reason is because some people voted this guy because because of their closeness, because of the proximity. Some people voted this guy because of the little he could afford to them to convince them to vote for him. But if you want to vote for somebody, if you want to elect somebody, ask yourself or ask this person whether this person has this character, whether they possess this character that are required for this position. Because if you want to be a leader, number one, you have to be self-control. You have to have that self-control, because you are going to play with other public resources. You are going to play with community, resources and other things. So you have to have that self-control. You have to be disciplined, financially disciplined, where you will have to, manage the community resources, or funds and everything like that. So you have to be financially disciplined. You should have that, and you should have that character. You should be somebody that can solve problems, that can talk to people, that can walk out to people and find solution for their problem. Because once you are a leader, people look up to you for solution. People look up to you for mentorship. People look up to you for good leadership. So you have to have those characteristics. If you don't have them, no matter how good you may appear, that is just a physical look. You don't have to dress in costume and come and present yourself as a good leader. Your character, your behavior, how the steps you take when problem happen, how you engage those issues, and you have whole lot of stuff to deal with. So if you don't have that character, if you're somebody that you got a long hand, you take something and you hide your hand, do other things like that, you have to be you have to be neutral and everything. Even in a situation, you have to be very bold when something happens, no matter how close this person to you, when you are there to resolve the conflict and other things, you should be able to speak truth to power. You should be able to tell somebody if they are wrong or they are right and what of you. So you can find an amicable solution to people problems. So there are a lot of characteristics, Maya, but for time's sake, or just for the discussion's sake, we may say you have self-control, you should lead by example, you should you should have integrity, you should know what you stand for and everything like that. But yeah, much you don't have those characteristics, You are now a good leader, Myers. You are just, I don't know how to describe it, but just there to cover the space. But you are now a good leader.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for that. You said something very interestingly for every one of us that loyalty to people or leadership responsibility to people based on our personal gain, based on what this person can do for me in the community, and I feel like they are worthy to have this position. Sometimes we even give people position based on their body size, on the way they speak to people. Usually we read the Bible and we understand that God do not look at the outside appearance of people, but rather the heart. That's why He looks at. So there are people appears physically to be good people, but deep down their heart and other things they are not. Absolutely, they are not. So like you said, there are a lot of things we have to look at. There are records that we have to look at before giving people the time or the privilege to serve in any position. Because if we don't do these things, it will seriously be an embarrassment for us. It will seriously be an embarrassment for us. We will end up choosing wrong leaders. That's the problem we make in our community today, in our country as well. A lot of times we have elected a lot of young leaders because the way they speak, the way they front of matter, they capture us, Mr. Lee. They capture us. You feel like, yeah, this man is so, he can be and what have you, the way they talk to him. No, it is not about it. We have to go through some things and understand deeper about this man. Brother Lee, there are some people, even their own family, when they see other people supporting them, they are angry in their spirit because they know the kind of characteristics that that person have. Have you seen some families so angry that, but what do people see behind it? You really know this individual, you really know this person. There are people feel so angry about that. And so now we are circulating our discussion around we as a young people. If we want to take responsibility, we should be so accountable. But a lot of young people today don't want to be accountable when things have been done and time reach for accountabilities. They make confusion. Have you seen those things, Brother Lee? That when things have been done wrongly and then you come to accountability, people make arguments with people. How can you take a man who beat on his wife to making or youth or somebody in the community, some kind of leader in the community? You don't think he's going to be beating other women? That when they try to see things and talk it, he will beat them. So these are things we have to look at. People that have that self control, like you stated, rather, people that have that self esteem, people that people who are mentally stable as well, Mr. Lee. You cannot take a mentally ill person and make them leader in the community. You're gonna bring serious confusion. Have you seen a community where from the day that leader took power to the day he finished power, every day he and one person must have another talk and so, right? So these are things we have to look at people before we give them position. I live in a community like that, Mr. Lee, that when they were taking that man from the position, in fact, when that small thing, he had to have confusion again with people, because he was like, he wanted to die within that, even though he wasn't doing the right thing, but he wanted to be there until, God can take your life from him. That's how sometimes we behave. We want to be in position until our lives can be taken. But now we come to another thing before we call it a day tonight. We want to talk about youth volunteerism and community service or services. Mr. Lee, the thing of us as a young people just giving our time freely these days, it's very difficult. Everything we do, we won't pay for it. If the pay will not be financial thing, we want to be seen by people. And I usually say this, listen, everything you are doing, do not expect an automatic, result or response or reward. Don't expect those things. Sometimes it can take a decade because there are people, I always say, everything you do, Mr. Lee. Sometimes people who are even close to you, they are not even watching you. There are people who are distant taking records of you. And tomorrow, when you shall have lived, that's what I love the late Dr. Miles Maroon. When you listen to a lot of his series, he talks about legacy. There are one key thing that a man can leave behind on this earth is legacy. And it's in two forms, either negative or positive. And mind you, if you leave a negative legacy behind, your children can be affected from that. If you leave a positive legacy behind, your children can also be affected by it. Can be a beneficiary of that particular legacy you left behind. So many of us today we don't see those things. The only thing we see is what I'm gonna get right after this. That kind of short term mindset. So I think it is very essential that we talk about this little bit. And yeah, here's the question, Brother Lee, that I want to talk about. Uh, uh, Brother Lee, here's my question to you tonight regarding this. Uh, yeah, it said that I want us to talk about what role does volunteerism plays within a community development? What role do you think a volunteerism play within a community development, mostly when it comes to the young folks?
Yeah, so Myers, collectively, volunteerism has a key roles in our community development, right? You, if you volunteer to contribute to the community, it helps a lot. Sometimes, like you say, it's not about what you're going to get afterward, but it's about the contribution that you are going to make. Volunteerism, it comes with a lot of benefit for the community. So you don't have to wait for reward, right? I have been engaged in some of volunteers, activities in Simport Bridge and other places that I've lived. So, like after making mention, when we were in Simport Bridge, we organized a group or young people, came in, we were managing young people and other things like that. So we voluntarily went, we carry on sanitation, we clean our community, the road, we clean the roads, we fill in some potholes and everything. From the initial stage, we did not, think about, or we did not think of, okay, we are going to do the, what can we get? No, we did not think about benefits. We thought about contribution to the community. So fortunately for us, we were doing this work, and that's how the current representative in District 16, he was going to engage with some of his constituencies. That's how he saw us. He said, "Oh, young guys, like, but this is good. This is what we must see in our community. When young people come together to to work to contribute to the community is good. People are doing well. You're budgeting government efforts. So right there, that lawmaker was able to give something, his financial support. So the moment he dropped it, it caught the attention. Other people who were around and who saw after we were doing the work, they saw like less busy people that we don't have anything to do. So we just wanted to keep ourselves busy on other things. So some of them they were impressed. And I tell you for sure, people started coming in and they want to join this. They want to join the organization. All because, can you hear me? Myers, can okay,
I'm
okay.
hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, so you see, so they came now and they want to join the organization now because they have seen the progress we have made. So some people they just want to see things being done properly, and afterward they want to come and be part of it. So from the initial stage, we were not thinking about what we could get or what are we going to get from this our service, or we are going to run out and other things. We did it because of love for the country, love for the community, and everything. We wanted to be a patriot. So that's why when we identify the problem, it was during the rainy season where the road, when the rain falls, the whole road, mess up and everywhere dirty. So we clean the road, we clean the street, we brought in some dirt, we fill in the potholes and other things like that. So at the end of the day, there was a smooth movement in the community. Cars were coming in smoothly. There were no dirty water being wasted on people by cars and other things. So we solve that problem at that particular time. So community volunteerism, it plays a major role in our community. You can volunteer through so many ways. Maybe it might not be through sanitation, it might not be through or what we did, but there are other ways that you can voluntarily contribute to to the community. You know, in some places, there are, for example, you notice that at that particular location, accident always occurring over there. What can you do? you know, Somebody might say, okay, since that's the case, I will volunteer to face up, or maybe a board that will indicate, when driver coming here, they should like maybe slow down or something like that. That is volunteerism, right? It helps. So what happens? It directs the drivers, those commuters that are using the road to direct them, like, okay, this place, you know, you should drive 15 miles per hour, you should drive 10 miles per hour. So when people see that, some logical driver who sees that we try to slow down and take it very easy. So volunteering comes to so many ways. Sometimes it can be investment. You can see the community lacking certain things, and you can volunteer to maybe invest in that. You can see that the young people in the community are just being, they are just free doing nothing. You can volunteer to have a program for them, educate them that, oh, instead of you sitting, you can learn soap making, you can learn tire dyeing, you can learn this and other things. These are things that will help the community. So it helps a lot. If volunteerism is very effective in every community, my I tell you, the communities in our country will be very effective. It will be very, very effective when it comes to development. Some of the problem will be solved, but everybody chasing after what they can get, what they will gain from whatever steps they will take or whatever thing they will do in the community until they follow us to our job working places. They follow the corporate society where you see somebody will be given a job. They'll be asking, what they call our girl, what am I eating? So they want to get a job where they will get free money, they will get eating, other things. They'll not be thinking, oh, okay, since I get a job, I can use my expertise, my knowledge to improve this place and solve some problem. But they'll be asking, what can I get? What am I eating? Then they come in with this parable, oh, where Italy goes and where you eat, all kinds of things, because people are not, they need practice it from the community level, so it has affected them in the enter in the corporate society or at the national level. So it's very important for us to volunteer. If you are Liberians, you have not volunteered before in your community, try to do that. It's very important as a citizen, good citizen. We were talking about, how can one be a good citizen? That is one way that you can be a good citizen, by volunteering to your community, by giving back. Maya, do you know that when I went back to Liberia for the ceremony I was spending there, I went to my school that I graduated from. I went back and said, well, I can be here for 7 months or 8 months. And then, I contributing. I went back to my high school that I graduated from. I started offering, French courses because I studied in French and other things. So the little French I know, I started to teach young people in the school, some of them that were preparing to enter into university. So it's, volunteer, give back to your community, give back to, to where you're coming from, so that, your community can be a better place for, for everybody. So, Maya, there's a lot of discussion on this, but because of time's sake, so I'll stop here. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lee. While you were speaking, there are these things, a lot of things that came to my mind, and one has to do with we as an individual. Yes, we have our own professional. We are all professional people. We have our own career path. But outside that, what are those things that we are making in our community or in our country? Yes, at your working place, right? Like you stated, Brother Lee, you work to an entity, right? And there are other things that should be right in a particular place. But some of us, our mind, yes, it is good to focus on what you went there for. But there are other things that you should help to make better once you have those little ideas. But we sit there and say, one, it is not mine. I don't think I can do it. And you see, Mr. Levy gives you, these are narrative we have to change, right? Like once this thing is not going to benefit me or any of my family members, I think I don't need to put anything behind it. And it's very wrong and it's bad for us. Many times in the litigation when we tell people that we want to return home, what we come here for, we get it. We are professional people, and like people will say to us, "No trouble. This one, this one, this one, this one." I'm like, listen, you won't understand why we say we want to return home. It is not just all of the job that we're going to do that will give us money, but there are other things that we see or that we have been seeing that lacking in our community, in our country, that we want to help to make these things to be right. We want to help that these things can be put into the rightful place. It is not just about coming to the country about money, 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 money. Most of us Liberians, our entire mindset is just about those things that we will get. That's all. It is not about making those changes because none of us, Mr. Lee, we don't value our names or read our family names. There are a lot of times you will see a particular family every time you hear this family is bad, this family is bad. But you, that one person, you can try to make that names of that family to change, that people can see those things. And one of it, like you said, is through the same, making meaningful contribution in the community, not about what you will get back. No, forget about what you will get. Forget about it. Sometimes people will refer to you all kind of names. I know when you return home and then you are in a classroom, I know some people had it in their minds, or maybe they've been saying it. Maybe they did not reach you. Like, he left from way down there with a degree to come go by in the classroom to be teaching people French, but they don't know the kind of way that the kind of things that your eyes have opened to, and the kind of things that you are seeing that need changes in our communities or in our society. So we want to say thank you so much tonight to all. Let's take this real life action, Mr. Lee. And there's the question for this real life action. If you were given the opportunity and resources today, what is the first problem in your community you would try to solve?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, can you please repeat your question because there's a breaking in
So,
here.
all right. So here's the question to you, Mr. Lee. Right? There's a real life action question that we are talking about tonight. And here's the question: if you were given the opportunities and resources today, what is the first problem in your community you will try to solve?
Oh, okay, so Maya, that's a good question though. For me, I have always been somebody who loves to contribute, especially to community, especially when it comes to human capacity building. So for me, if I had an opportunity, I would, try to provide, educations to young people in our community because what I have noticed so far from my own personal experience or experiences is that, you know, some of the actions of some young people in our community, it all center around education. Sometimes they are not well informed, so at the end of the day they have certain mindset, that kind of a mindset they have. So in order to in order to improve the community that they can be able to make a sound decisions, you have to fill their mind, their brain with information, and that information has to do with education. The education I'm talking about is not only formal educations. It will be uh, second chance education. And everything. They just try to educate people, tell them that you can do this by yourself, you can contribute, you can make the changes that you need, that you want to see in your community. That change that you want, you can make it yourself, you can be your change. Try to educate people because that's the reason why we are always voting the wrong people, because people cannot sit down and analyze for themselves, to analyze that this person has that character, that are required for this position. What is the past record of this person? how well this person, is very transparent or accountable. What is the attitude of this person that is coming to me? And what this person is saying, is it in line with his or her actions? Because when somebody is speaking truth, if you have that analytical skills, and, or idea, you will know that this person is saying truth, right? You will know it will be glaring. So if you have that ability to analyze on the right and wrong person, you are going to be a better citizen. So if I had opportunity, I will invest first in providing education, in my community. It will be through health. You can provide education, but or health awareness, how people can take care of themselves, how people can do things, or keep trash far away from their home, manage the trash so that you can reduce mosquitoes and other things. There are a lot of things when it comes to education. So for me, that's what I'm going to do first, so that we can improve the overall living condition of our people in the community. So that's it for me, Miles.
Thank you so much. Mr. Lee have just said to us that if you have the opportunity, is providing education for the community in whatever way that the mindset of us young people within that community can try to change. Because it's just a mindset though. It is not like we are let me say it's not like we are not a clever people. It is not like we are not meaningful in society. It's not like we cannot do extra mile, but it's just the kind of mindset we carry. Unless we move those burden from our heads, and those things can only be removed through other people, that try to follow us. And I want to say this, Mr. Lee, if we were here this tonight discussing about, politics, talking this, Mr. Lee, you will have thousands of people watching us. But these are basic things that we have to know today because a lot of us want to get into leadership. A lot of us we want to be seen out there. Well, these basic things that is lacking from us or are lacking from us. If we don't try to get them back in us, it will become a serious problem for us. Like you said, Mr. Liti Gibson, since I came from Liberia, there are some things I try to understand. And I can tell you today, when we try to return, there are some people who say they want to be represented this and that. If we try to have one-on-one conversation with them, just 5 or 6 questions, we try to question. I can tell you, people will try to know all their ideas because we don't ask this question that have not been asked to them before, right? They've been dodging these things. So once you try to ask this, in fact, they try to see you as a threat and other things. But mind you, we are not here for that tonight. We are talking about how meaningful, impact within the society. So we want to say thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. It was a nice time having you people with us tonight. Before we call it a day, let's take a parting statement from Mr. Lee D. Gibson, and we will try to draw down our curtain.
Yeah, so that's it. Thank you, Myers. It was a good show. What I will leave our listening audience with is, because we're talking about, participation of young people in community development. So we have to change our mindset, how we look at things. And we don't always have to be negative about things. We don't have to always complain. You can go out there, try to think about solution. Don't always look at the problem, think about the solution. Because mind you, the English people have something they call, the conscious and the subconscious mind. What the conscious mind does is that the way it perceives things from, externally, it convey that message to the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind works directly according to the mandate of the conscious mind. So what I say in short is that the conscious mind, informs and instruct the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is within you. So for example, if your conscious mind tells you that this is a problem and this is how this problem is all going to be like. So, or if it tells you that, this thing I'm about to do, I will not succeed in this business I'm about to establish, it won't work because the environment and blah blah blah. So that conscious mind instruct the subconscious mind within you, and that's how you are going to live. So you are going to live without, with that mental feeling, that emotional feeling that if you do this, you are not going to prosper. So it's going to be with it. So that's how you're going to see your life reflecting on what you are thinking about and how you look at things. So we should be careful. If you are just negative about things, you just complain a lot about things, that's how your life going to be. You are, it's always going to reflect on your life. So be positive. Try to think about solution. Even if something is hard, say to yourself, there is a solution to this problem, and we must discover this solution. So you have instructed your subconscious mind. So you're going to see yourself working after it. You're going to see yourself finding solution, finding all means. But if you are just negative about yourself, you just negative about everything, mind you, that's how you're going to be. That's why I don't love for people to always, say Liberia is, Liberia will never develop. So you can hear some people can make that statement, Liberia will never. If everybody in Liberia, all Liberians would just have that mindset that Liberia will never develop, we will not see ourselves working after development. So there is a solution to every problem. Liberia can be better. Liberia can be developed when we change our mindset, when we change, how we look at things in our country. So it was a good thing here today. So my people, try to be positive about everything. Whatever solution in your family, in your solution, I mean, in your community, in your life, find solution to that problem. There is a solution to every problem. Just seek the solution and stop looking at the problem only and stop complaining. So that's it for my end. Thank you, and it was nice having this discussion today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. Let me say to our young people are not simply leaders of tomorrow. We are the citizens of today. Our community needs our ideas, our energy, our skills, our voices, and most importantly, our willingness to serve. Let me say to us, we should not wait for someone to give us a position before becoming or making a difference. We can start where we are with what we have and with whatever ability we possess it. Let me say to us lastly, let us move from complaint to solutions, from spectators to participants, and from waiting for change to being a change maker. Finally, let me say the Miles TV, where we educate, inspire, create, and make awareness and encourage people of positive minds. Tonight, I want to say thank you for joining us, and we hope again to have you on this platform for another great edition. This is how we would like to draw our curtain down as we see you again for another show. Thank you, good night, and we love you. God bless you all.